Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Dharma Time here on WPSN99.com. I am your host, the Dharma Guy. I almost forgot my name there, as always. And I am joined with, what y'all don't see at the moment is he's got to brag, and you know what? I gotta let him. So here's the dope doctor. There we go. Go ahead, brag about your team.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't need
we
to say
we won yesterday as well, but we don't look nearly as good as you guys do.
when you're 5-0, Trinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, this is what you were experiencing last year. I'm experiencing what you experienced last year. A lot of good feelings about football.
And I'm experiencing what you experienced, where my whole team is hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're literally like all hurt, man. Every time I turn around, like I think Mostert is now going to be on the IR. Like it's whatever, man. So, matter of fact, talking about distractions today, right? Like we have plenty of distractions at the moment, which is a good thing if you want them or if you so choose to find them. A couple of housekeeping things to get out of the way, though. Of course, as always, he is the founder and I'm the president of that beautiful screen you see right behind him right there. And that's the Now Matters More Foundation. And what we do is we help individuals struggling with the disease of addiction get help. I almost mumbled there, but I got it out. I got like my sinus problems, man, so I'm not 100% today apparently.
I see you trimmed your beard up though.
Yeah, man, like 2 weeks ago. But anyways, so we help individuals struggling with the disease of addiction. We help them get help, actually. And we do that in a multitude of ways. Quick little commercial for you guys if you've never watched the show, don't know what we're talking about. We do that in three main ways, right? The first way we do it is if you or anybody you know is struggling, or you got a loved one comes to you and says, "Hey, I think I have a problem. I think I've got an addiction issue. I don't know what to do." Who do you call? What do you do? You probably heard the rumors. You probably heard all the horrible things that are happening out there. It's a very large predatory community that goes after those people, your loved ones, and and the sad part is a lot of these ones have a lot of money, man, and they can make their websites look fantastic, but they're actually criminals. And so what we do as a foundation, one of the biggest things that we do is we help vet the ones, and we make sure that they're not criminals. We make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. We meet the clinical directors, we meet the owners, we tour the programs. And I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. We would never recommend something we wouldn't send our own family members to. And then the second thing we do is we scholarship treatment sometimes. When funds are there and we're able to work out a deal, we will help scholarship some of your treatment. So let's say, for instance, you're struggling to keep the lights on. You got enough money to keep all that on, but you can't afford to pay your deductible of, let's say, $2,000. That's where we come in and we remove that barrier so we can make sure you get the help that you need. And then, of course, the third and final thing that we do, which I would probably argue is one of the most important, and that is we do advocacy work, man. We try to let you guys know, and your friends and your family, and your neighbors, that they're not the junkies that you see on TV. They're actual human beings. They're your friends. They're your family. They're your brothers. They're your sisters. We try to kind of chip away at that stigma that's been out there for so long. And we do that through the shows that we do and as well as the donations. So if you like what you heard or you want to hear more, you can go to nowmattersmore.org. That's nowmattersmore.org. You can read about who we are, what we do. You can fill out an application if you need help. Or if you need help immediately, you can call 833 Now Matters. That's 833 Now Matters. There you go. That's my quick little infomercial for everybody.
Very good.
That's why we do what we do, man. So distractions, man. So just to catch everybody up, we did not have Dharma Time last week, I think, and then we did have a show on Friday for the couch because it was Louis' birthday, so we had to all pay homage. It's been a crazy week though, man. So this week, just so you know, in October, I have like your birthday's on the 16th, my mother's is on the 17th. Destiny's and Carlos are both on the 18th. So I have like 4 or 5 birthdays all within like a few days. And my I guess what would you call her? My niece-in-law, I guess, is also in those few days. My wife's brother's daughter. I guess that's niece-in-law. I don't know. I don't even know if that's a thing.
That would require a family tree for me to figure
Yeah, I
out.
don't even know. Bottom line is, there's a lot of birthdays within like a 4-day span. And then the greatest part, and you were right briefly on the phone, and I didn't explain this very clearly because I had to get off. So Rocky apparently got pancreatitis, over the weekend as well. Pancreatitis is just a sexy way of saying he got inflammation of the pancreas. Stupid dog. First of all, public service announcement. If anybody out there is considering getting a Jack Russell, let me be the first to tell you, don't. Those dogs they got more energy. They're insane little dogs, man. And they're like angry little old men who only want to be friends with just one person. Everybody else are just pissy and angry all the time, and they've got nothing but energy constantly. He's constantly chasing the kids around. He's constantly chasing the cat. You let him outside, he's chasing lizards. He's running. He's just getting into everything all the time. And this genius decided to eat a frog the other day, and then that frog apparently had something in him that didn't agree with him, so he ended up getting pancreatitis. Threw up all the time. Was just not eating anything. Couldn't move. Very lethargic. And here I am thinking, oh my gosh. And my little backstory. Destiny, my girl who just turned 11, picked him out. Like, she remembers very vividly picking him out, saying that's the one I want. And it looked like he might die on her birthday. So I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do here? So I ended up, we did some home doctoring, and we kept him going as long as we could. We took him to the vet when they opened, and they got him back. He's doing great now. He's running around here actually somewhere. So yeah, man, that was my week, bro. It was like 5 birthdays and almost a dead dog. So, yeah. And apparently my allergies are kicking. So
I can't beat that.
No, I don't want to beat that myself. I don't want it. Anyways, so that leads us to today's show, right? So that's what got me thinking about it. Full disclosure, we had no clue what we were going to talk about. I've been busy doing stuff. He's been busy doing stuff. We got on ahead of time, and I was talking to him about a way that I've been distracting myself, and it's been working, and I've been trying to avoid some of the more controversial subjects, and I said, you know what? Let's do that. Let's talk about distractions. So that's what we're doing today. Distractions are a wonderful thing, man. They really are. That's how you keep from going insane, I believe. We've talked about the negative aspect of distractions before on their show, right? When it comes to coping mechanisms, on how distracting yourself really isn't a coping mechanism. It's a tool maybe to help get you to cope, but distraction in and of itself is not a skill set used for coping. But there is a positive side to distractions, right? There's amazing positive sides, and that is there's like you were talking to me about something and I had no clue. You know why? Because I just haven't watched it. I've been distracted doing other things, man. I've been watching football since that's back on. That's a wonderful distraction for a lot of people out there. I did watch some of the finals in basketball, even though I was irritated with the political stuff that they were doing. I was able to, at least during the finals, I was able to kind of set that aside and just focus on the ball play. Not really personally big into baseball, but that's out there for people as well.
Yeah.
My kids love watching YouTube and doing different things. My 16-year-old has recently started taking up cooking and baking, so she's been, making all sorts of stuff in the house. It took her an hour and a half to make pancakes the other day. I don't even know how that's possible, but they were good. My point is, distractions are awesome, man. They really are. It is a great way to take your mind off of stuff. And once again, please don't confuse this with coping, right? Like, I personally don't really feel the need to cope with a lot of stuff, but there were so many things that were happening that I am dealing with, that I'm handling, if you will, that I wanted some downtime to just like, okay, like, I'm done right now. I just want to veg out and just completely disappear for a minute, right? And I think people underestimate how valuable that is, right? Like, I know so many people that feel like they need to constantly be on the go or constantly be doing something, that they don't take time to just sit back and relax for a minute. And I'm not even talking about like meditating and stuff, like that's absolutely necessary. I'm just talking about straight up, what'd you do today? Absolutely nothing. Like, that is an awesome thing, man. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be beautiful. I did a little bit of that on the weekend. A little bit of absolutely nothing, but more so, I'm hearing you, and those, as long as you know, just like you said, as long as you know that this is a distraction. I'm not doing this to attain any special ability or resolve any conflict or issue. This is simply a true meaning of the word distraction. Everything
Yep.
else will still be there. Everything else that's under the responsibilities list is still there. Everything, every conversation that needs to be had is still needs to be had.
Yep.
So as long as you know that, then yeah, absolutely, it's wonderful. I mean, obviously, October. I look at October very different, man. October is my month, man. I love the whole month. I feel like I could do anything I want to do in October. I give myself that freedom every October.
Right.
A lot of great things do happen in October. I mean, it's just the coolest month there is. My kids took me to Biketoberfest, which was awesome. I love going and watching that.
Nice.
Even in COVID, you know, usually when bikers have masks on, it's because they're trying to avoid authorities, from knowing who they are, or another bike group, another club,
Right.
knowing who they are. But it was weird seeing some with masks and stuff. But that was cool. My family coming into town. My parents came in. My brother and his family came into town. It was really cool, man. So
Right on.
my distraction was the birthday. But I still had some responsibilities to do. I still owe you an article, Heike. I know that. For Brevard Live Magazine. I got to finish up an article for Brevard Live Magazine. I can't distract myself too much from handling that responsibility. So,
Not to
and
mention,
I leave out of town tomorrow.
we both
What?
have quite a few YouTube videos for both shows in the can that we haven't put up yet. By we, I mean you, but
I,
that's okay.
I keep on waiting for the ninja to come into town, we keep on not having him come into town, so
Right.
I may have to do it before that happens. But we'll
Sure.
see. But,
But
but
yeah, but I agree, man. Because I've known people like that in my life who just a constant state of stressed out,
yeah,
and just constantly busy doing stuff. Can't. I mean, my wife is like that a little bit sometimes, where she can't just sit down and relax for a minute. Her mind is always, oh, this needs to be clean, or this needs to be done, or this needs to be done.
hmm
And I think that can be as detrimental as doing nothing all the day, right? Like completely being lazy and doing absolutely nothing all the time. Nothing gets done. You don't progress towards goals, things of that nature. But the other
nah,
extreme is just as bad, though. The other extreme where you just like you forget to live life a little bit, right? Like I've never met anybody who has even heard of anybody ever in the history of man being under deathbed saying, "Gosh, I really wish I worked more and stayed busy more." Like it's
right,
just never happened. And I know that's a cliche, and we've all heard it, but we don't all live that way sometimes. Like we're all so focused on doing the next thing or accomplishing the next goal or whatever, which hey, I get it. But at the same token, you got to have that balance, right? You got to understand that life is worth living too. Like if you don't go out there and do things, if you don't experience things, if you don't have some downtime and some relaxation, then you're gonna be so in your head you're never gonna really enjoy much of it anyways. And you're gonna get to your deathbed, you're gonna look back like, dude, like I can't believe I didn't do that one thing, or I can't
right,
believe I didn't spend more time just goofing off and hanging out with my family, like
right.
or friends or just whatever it is, man. Like
And it could be anything, and I think
yeah,
that's the key. It really can be anything.
yeah,
You know,
whatever
don't
you do
don't let
that's a
someone else define
distraction.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm?
anything. Like for us, it's sports and stuff. For us, it's also family, right? Like family is kind of a distraction for me sometimes.
Yeah. Mhm.
We were just talking about before we go on air. We both enjoy some video game time. Yeah, I said it. I'm a grown man that likes playing video games, and like that's a stigma that I keep saying like is ridiculous to me because I'm. You're apparently we're both less men, just so you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I saw
What? What?
somebody just posted this morning. There's a new PlayStation 5 coming out, and it's like, "What your man wants, what my man wants." Like it was a PlayStation 5 and then tools. Well, A, I already have tools. B, if it's something that broken, I'm calling somebody to fix it
I was
anyway.
gonna say, what do I need to fix it for?
Exactly. But apparently that makes us less of a man in some sort of way. I guess. Whatever. Uh,
I'm okay
watch
with that.
watch our previous show on toxic masculinity. You'll hear us talk all about that nonsense.
I'm so okay with that. That's weird that the stuff like that is still out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not allowed to shame us.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, my point is, like my wife, right? Like she's really into arts and crafts. Like her way of relaxing, doing nothing sometimes, stresses me out just to watch it, right? Because I'm not an arts and crafts guy. I'll be sometimes I'll be playing, right, and she'll be in the living room at the table, right next to me essentially. But she's doing her thing, and I'm doing mine, right? Where I'm still able to talk to her and carry on, but I'm playing a game. Unless you and I are playing together, then I'm talking. That does get her pissy sometimes. But no, she'll be sitting there and she'll have this whole table with all these like crafts and stuff that she's like putting together and doing. And I just like, no, man, like, no, I'm not that guy. It gives me anxiety even looking at it. Like that
Wow.
is so far outside my realm. But that's what she does to relax.
Yeah.
Like it makes her relax. She likes tinkering and building like little art things. And some of them are really cool. You
Wow.
know, I
Yeah.
wish I could do that, but that's just not my thing.
Yeah. All my ladies over here, whether it be my wife Dana, my youngest Zoe, or my oldest daughter Dalia, who's not in this house anymore. She has her own house. But all of them do like little things like that every once in a while.
Right,
Like Dalia and John will do things at their house. Dana has all these little projects at the house that she'll do.
right.
Like I knew when she bought yellow paint when things started turning yellow.
Yeah,
Her doors were yellow. Like there was a rabbit that was outside that all of a sudden was yellow.
yeah.
You know, and I'm like, all right. So she bought yellow paint. You know, now it's window coverings. I
Oh,
notice
nice.
there's, every once in a while I'll be sitting down there trying to distract myself. They
There you
don't
go.
do it during football, Dana, not during football.
Yeah, right.
She'll be like, I need your help to hang something real quick. And it'll be a new window covering, a new shade or something. So, it's always some project, always a project, but I
Yeah,
like my projects because my projects really is nothing, doing nothing
yeah,
when I do it. I like that.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. What was it? I think it was Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus. That whole series of stuff that they talked about. One of
Yeah.
the biggest differences is for us men. Oftentimes, the way we recharge is doing nothing. Like something about sitting down allows our testosterone to pull, or so. There's science behind it, I guess. But the point is, for us, that is recharge. Like recharging is just nothing. Let me just zone out. Let me do absolutely nothing. Let me just give me minutes to just do nothing. And for some people, that's torture, and oftentimes it's for women that's torture. For men, oftentimes it's so refreshing. You know, like I'll see my wife busy doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, "How's that relaxing?" Like I don't want to use my brain power to figure out all that. No, I don't want to do all that. But
Even the thinking in certain conversations does it. Like
yeah,
I was like, I don't even want to think so much.
yeah. Yeah, sometimes I just want to literally just sit there and do absolutely nothing and zone out. And that's what football is. That's what video games are. Sometimes I'll even do a puzzle. Like I've got puzzles here. Like just nothing. Nothing productive, nothing to write home about, nothing that I'm proud of. Just nothing. Just exist for a little bit.
Nothing that I'm proud of.
Yeah. I'm not trying to do some sort of majestical work of something.
But
No, just like video games. I'm proud of it for myself, but I'm not telling. I don't. Nobody cares. It's nobody cares. So for me, that is so important, man. It's just such an important part of life to have moments where you just kind of recharge. Because especially right now, we're seeing it, right? People weren't recharging during COVID. They thought they knew how to recharge, and they weren't, right? Like they thought, "Oh, I'm not going to work." No, you're not. Like you're
maybe
arguing
they overdid it. Maybe
with.
they did too much of nothing,
Maybe.
and then so all of a sudden they overcompensated with something.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people just, were losing their minds a little bit. You're getting a little bit of cabin fever. They thought that they knew how to recharge, but they were wrong. The things that they thought they were recharging was actually bringing more stress, right? For some people, hanging out with family 24/7 is a stressor. Especially if you guys don't normally spend that kind of time together and you don't know how to interact and how to appreciate each other's differences,
All right.
it can become a source of stress as opposed to a source of enjoyment. For me personally, like you and I've joked many times, I like the people I live with, man. So like it doesn't bother me at all. My wife is more of a non-homebody at times, so she likes to go out. She likes her job. She likes working with her friends. So she would joke occasionally with people about wanting to get out of the house and stuff. But I would never sign off on that. I was always like, oh, not me. I'm enjoying it. I like the people I live with. I like my family around. Like, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah. We bought this house to fit the lifestyle that we have, which is both of us like to be home.
Exactly.
So
We pay a
yeah,
lot every month, man. I want to stay
yeah,
here.
yeah. I'm good here. Need to go nowhere.
But no, but I see it all the time, right? I see people who are constantly posting, like on social media. People are just constantly absorbed by the news. I mean, we obviously have a pretty important election for some people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
For some people, it's
yeah.
important for everybody, but
Well,
It's a little bit too meaningful for some.
Exactly. To me, I don't think this election's any more or less than all the previous ones. I mean, it's a system. It works. It does what it does. We have a system of checks and balances. Whether you agree or disagree, I'm pretty sure that 4 years from now, regardless of who wins, for the most part, our lives are pretty much going to be the same. Might be a couple subtle differences here and there, but every 4 years, half the country's pissed off. Like, it's no different.
I'm talking about the eruption.
The what?
I'm talking about the eruption. There was an eruption 4 years ago now. There was just an eruption
Sure.
that hasn't really settled. It
Yeah.
was like
No, 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 not even close.
So I expect there to be another volcano eruption,
Yes.
regardless of which side wins.
100%. No doubt in my mind.
The only difference is going to be it's either going to be the Democrats crying for the next 4 years again, or Republicans crying for the next 4 years. But somebody's somebody's crying.
Yeah, every 4 years, 50% of the country's angry.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is the crying is more than before.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
is it
so-
more than before, or are we just aware of it more because there's more coverage of it?
It's probably a little bit of both, but I think the disruption, the actual defiant behaviors that create disruption to you and I lifestyle, that actually impacts our neighborhoods,
Right.
just a little bit more. It's almost like most every big city just won the Super Bowl. You know how like when
Yeah.
the team wins the Super Bowl,
They go
you
nuts.
expect your downtown to go a little nuts,
Yeah.
right? Well, there's a lot of towns that look like they won a Super Bowl because their towns went a little nuts.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really good distraction right now. I think this is the calm before the storm. I do think there will be a storm, regardless.
I agree.
So I'm just going to just kind of chill for a while, for the next few weeks,
Yeah.
and just kind of let it play out because it's playing out.
Well, to me, that's where the distractions come in handy, right? Like, and we've talked about this in previous shows. I myself even found that I was getting caught up in a lot of the vitriol that was happening. I found myself watching the news just a little too much, watching, going on like Reddit and looking at the different forums and different videos just a little too much. And it's all consuming if you let it, right? Like,
Yeah.
next thing you know, you turn around, that's all you've talked about for weeks. It's just every conversation somehow, even this one right now, as you can tell, it's starting to steer that way.
Because we can't help it.
Well, of course.
You're so right on that. It's like all roads lead to that
Yep.
right now.
And I think that it's good and bad, right? The positive side of it, the good side of it is it makes us all more aware of our system, which I think is a good thing. It makes us a little bit more educated for some of us. Meaning some of us are aware now of different rules and regulations and procedures and things that we weren't previously.
Right.
It sounds ridiculous to me, but I watched a video the other day. It was a gun control debate, and somebody didn't even understand what the Second Amendment was or why we had it. This was a college student, and they were debating. But in that dialogue, they actually were able to listen long enough to understand what the Second Amendment is. And so that's a good thing, right? So I think there are genuine conversations that are taking place throughout the country where I do believe small pockets of people are learning from one another and learning more about our system and how it all works, which I think is great. But then the negative side of it is, yes, it's causing a lot of fractured friendships, fractured relationships, people not able to put their political views aside and love the person. That to me has got to stop. Like, that's ridiculous. That is because it is just a distraction, right? Politics are just a distraction in a negative way to who that person is sitting across the table from you.
Absolutely. It's
Right.
all wagging the dog, man.
Yeah.
We're all being wagged
Yeah.
by whatever, story they really want to tell. Because, for instance, like the Second Amendment is not racist rednecks like guns. That's not what the Second Amendment says.
No.
That racist rednecks love guns. So that's why we got to take it away from them. But everybody has a story and everybody has a viewpoint, and they're trying to push it constantly. So that's all everything is. And here's the other thing. Like we talk about, our personal distractions, right?
Yeah.
That you and I have. I don't like to unplug completely. Like when people say unplug, like let's talk a little bit about that, Trinity, because when I hear unplug, I mean like I don't do social media, but I don't unplug from all electronics. I'm not Amish, I still want to watch sports. I can't unplug from that,
Right.
and then like during the whole COVID, the whole initial several months of COVID, it seemed like everybody did something I didn't do because I didn't jump into Netflix and like you kept on telling me about Tiger Guy or Man
Yeah, just
or
all
whatever.
the mainstream stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like you were very aware of what everybody else was watching on Netflix, and I literally did not watch not one single thing on Netflix during that whole time.
Wow.
Weird.
See, that's
I
our
mean,
downtime in this house is TV.
usually it is mine. What I'm saying is I don't know what I did anymore. But what I'm saying is, what may be something that I find of useful today as a distraction it may be different the next day.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it actually may be a chore the next day, like it was
Yeah,
to watch a
absolutely.
movie. You know what I mean, or
Yeah.
something like that. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
things change as well. So just don't keep things defined as one thing either, because they can be useful in many different ways.
Yeah, man. I think I do believe, like I said, distractions can be a good thing or a not so good thing. I think the real key difference is as long as you're aware of it. When you're aware it's a distraction, it's potentially a good thing because that's something you're choosing to participate in.
Right.
When you're not aware it's a distraction, then that tells me that like what's happening that you're being distracted from is what would worry me.
You
As
know,
far, go ahead.
I know. I was just gonna say, when I need a good distraction when I start craving potato chips, Trinity, because I got to get through that moment. I just got to get through that moment.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So and do something different, so I can get to the next point where it's like, all right, I didn't need them. I didn't need them. Damn it, man! If I don't get distracted, you know.
Yeah, I think. But to touch on your previous point about totally unplugging, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the benefit in it. I really do.
Yeah.
It's not something that I have to be forced into something like that, right? And what I mean by if I'm left here to my own devices, I'm not going to completely unplug, right? Unless we lose power or something.
Yeah, you have to be camping.
But I will say some of my favorite parts of going on cruises is the fact that I wasn't glued to the TV or to my phone. Right? When we go on, Angel and I actually went to a pretty decent amount of cruises over the last few years,
Hmm.
and just like a 3 day thing. Being the fact that we're in Florida, Bahamas is literally just 90 miles away. So we were able to do a couple cruises for the weekend, and one of my favorite things is once you cross over to international waters, the phones essentially become useless unless you pay their ridiculous internet fee on the boat, which there's no need to, right? Because like we're here to enjoy ourselves, not stare at my phone, which I can do at home. So Angel and I made a huge point of every time we go, we don't take care of the internet stuff. We just leave the phones in the room essentially, other than for time. And we just spend time just being together, like eating the food, relaxing, hanging out on the side of the boat, watching the water, just chilling. And then when the day comes when we go out onto the island, we're able to really go out and enjoy and experience the island and the water and everything that has to offer without constantly checking our phones. So for that, but the only thing is, every time I got back, as soon as I turned my phone on, a bunch of emails, text messages, and stuff, and that can be overwhelming. But I do very much enjoy like that little 2 day completely unplugged. I do rather enjoy that. Like that is a very refreshing feeling, and it reminds you just of what a small part of our life that really is. It feels like it's all consuming. It feels like it's so vastly important, but it's really not, right? Like there's people out there who say, like I know a lot of people actually don't have Facebook at all. They just don't use social media. And when most people hear that, they're like, "What? I can't believe that." But then most people who have it wish they could get rid of it, right? Most people talk about, "Oh, I wish I didn't get rid of it." Like you don't have to have it, or you don't have to use it every day. Like, my mom has it, but she literally uses it to just keep track of like friends and family that are on there.
To watch us.
Yeah, and to watch us. If we didn't do what we do, like
Yeah.
if what we do wasn't so contingent upon getting as much exposure as we possibly could, make sure you follow us on social media at the Dharma Guy, at the Dope Doctor. You can check this show out at youtube.com/Dharma Time. If we weren't so dependent upon that, I can see myself not using Facebook. Like I can see
Right.
myself
Yeah.
completely shutting it down because, it's pretty much all the same stuff. People bragging about things that a life that they wish they had for the most part.
I like it for birthdays.
Yeah, oh dude, Facebook
One of
has
my favorite
saved me.
things, I just get to know whose
Yeah,
birthday it is.
yeah. I remember so many birthdays through Facebook. But no. So, do I think completely unplugging is for the long term is a good thing. Not necessarily, because you can get left behind then and not know what's happening in your life and in the
Right.
world around you. But every so often, for like a couple days, it's not a bad idea, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think about the people that go on those shows like Big Brother. And it's like it would be overwhelming to be there, and when you get out, just how much information you missed.
Yeah,
Man, that's a long time.
yeah.
That's months,
I've never seen
right?
Big Brother, but I'm assuming it's a long time.
Oh, bro, they're just unplugged for so long. Can you imagine? And then people are talking about you that whole time. So it would probably take you a year to catch up on what was said about you.
Right.
I mean, that would be crazy. I think about stuff like that. Like, ooh,
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that. I mean,
well, that's the thing. The longer you unplug, the more it takes to catch up. Because don't think that you're not going to have to catch up. Because you
sure.
will.
Well, and I mean, as far as reading about you, I mean, you and I aren't at that level yet, but assuming we're successful and someday we do get to the level where we have, umpteen hundreds of thousands of people, I won't be reading comments and things. It's not productive. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Marissa. I just as long as Marissa likes us, I'm good. That's the
Yeah, right. Yeah,
only
Marissa
fan.
just asked. She said, "You
Yeah.
watch Big Brother. Who are you rooting for?"
I'm a little bit behind, so I'm afraid to answer that because you might tell me what's going on. I'll put it this way: at the last time I stopped watching it, who left? Who left? The blonde dude left. The surfer dude left. So that's where I'm at. Like I don't know who
I
goes.
have no clue. Only thing
I
I
forget,
know.
I forget names, but I'm telling you, Cody's playing the best, and that other dude, the dude that I don't really like him, Memphis. He's not a very likable guy, but he's playing really good. So it's between Memphis and Cody as far as gameplay.
Yeah, I have no clue what Big Brother. All I know about Big Brother is apparently there's a house that they put a bunch of people in. That's all I
It's a
really
real
know.
show. I really like it. I like that. I like Survivor, and I like Amazing Race. Those are my three reality shows
Right on.
that I like. I mean, it's competition. But dude, you and I should go on Amazing Race.
I've never even seen that either. I've never seen Amazing. I watched the race. Bear Grylls finally covered that one big eco race that happens
Yeah,
every. It used to happen every year, but then they stopped it for a while.
yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, those are good distractions. See, getting into a show like that's a good distraction.
Sure.
Like where you just like binge on a show.
Yeah.
Um, that stuff. When people say Netflix and chill or something like that, and they kind of just start binge watching some Netflix, that's like a good distraction, right?
Absolutely. I think
Um,
so.
like if my wife liked Peaky Blinders with me, that would be the one that we'd be binging right now. But she's not as into it as I am, so I gotta watch that on the side. So it has to compete between my other distractions,
Right.
and it just doesn't beat some of the other things that I do. So
See, I
yeah.
don't know about you, but we have like this thing in my house though where we watch a lot of the same shows, and which
Well, we
means
did.
now, is this the same for you? This is where distractions.
Uh-oh.
This is the fun part about distractions, right?
Uh-oh.
If my wife comes home and finds out that I watched like an episode or two of a show that we're watching together without her,
I would never do that.
I can't even tell you what would happen because I dare not ever have done it.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it either, like, because I wouldn't want it done to me, right? Because it's almost like bad, like cheating on somebody. It's like you did what?
Yep.
But yeah, we have a lot of stuff that we watch together. But that's the thing, that is quality time to an
Right.
extent, right? When you're hanging out, sitting next to each other on the couch, watching
Right.
something,
Right.
you're sharing that common experience.
Right.
Now, granted, I don't think that's the only thing people
Right.
should do, but I do believe, that it's healthy, right? Like, I think that's a misconception a lot of people have. Is people think that life is. If you look at Instagram or Facebook, you think everybody's life is just constantly out living their greatest life, and that's just not the case, right? The majority of the time, life is boring, dude. Like, there's a lot of time we're all just kind of like schlubbing through the day, and that's okay. Like, don't feel guilty that you're just schlubbing through the day. We all are.
Dude, I like my schlubbing.
I'd love it.
Before doing the show today, like when you were called, so what time you getting on today? I was just coming out of the jacuzzi. So
And I was on Ghost of Tsushima.
there you go. I was just like, all right, did my daily jacuzzi, so
Yep.
I got to go take a shower. So after a shower, I'll be on. I know what I have to do today. I did one of the things, the major tasks that I had to do today. I still have one more major task left. Again, Heike, I didn't forget doing your article. So I got to write that article today for Brevard Life magazine. But other than that, the rest of the stuff is real simple phone calls, check up on stuff, go through the Hope-a-thon things a little bit more, because that's coming up November 14th.
What's that you say? The Hope-a-thon?
The Hope-a-thon, brother,
What is the
November 14th.
Hope-a-thon, dare I might ask?
Man, let me tell you, that 24-hour telethon that we're going to do, Trinity, I can't wait. I'm all getting all ramped up again
Well,
because
talk about it. This is an example of a good distraction, I think, right?
yeah,
Like for 24 hours, distracting yourself from all the nonsense. What is
no
it? Like,
negativity.
talk about why you want to do that. Because I think that, for full disclosure here, right,
Right,
just so everybody understands who's going to tune in, because I'm assuming everybody's watching this is going to be
right.
on there.
Yeah, they bet.
You've been wanting telethons for a while now, and not
Like,
all of
yeah,
us
a
were
lot of years.
completely on board. A lot of us didn't see the value that you saw. And I still don't think it's valuable as a telethon per se, but I think your approach is what makes it valuable. I think why you want to have it and the what you call it, the thought, the end result which you're hoping
Right.
for, I think is worth having, and I think that's what's making it so great. That's what's kind of brought me around. Wasn't the telethon. When I was thinking it from strictly telethon perspective, I just didn't see the value.
Better come
But
around. I need you. I need you to be
I
positive
am.
on this.
I'm
I need
here.
you to want this. I need you to.
I'm
I
here.
need you to help make it what it needs to be.
But I think that
Come
people who
on.
don't know need to understand. I think they need to hear your stance on it and why you wanted to have it. So go for it.
Well,
Here's your spiel, man.
well, my whole thing is just simply, all too often when we talk addiction and recovery, it's all negative. It's the overdose deaths and the dying and the sick and the suicides and all the stuff that go along with pain, right? But none of the recovery stuff. So it's just not sexy enough for news. It's not sexy enough for television. It's so I wanted to do 24 hours where all we're doing is talking about hope. Like, because when I was a kid, Jerry Lewis did the telethon for muscular dystrophy, Jerry's Kids, and it taught us all what muscular dystrophy was, at least for the moment, right? So Jerry would get all his friends that you knew he communicated with throughout the years or whatever, and for that 24 hours, he was serious. I mean, he joked around a little bit, but he was serious as well. It was for a real cause. And then when he no longer did it, it went away. It's like if I ask your kids or my kids what muscular dystrophy is, I really, really, I mean, we're gonna have to do that one of these days, Trinity, because I really don't think they'll even know what muscular dystrophy is. And
I don't even remember what it is.
I don't think it went away. I don't think that it's gone or that we found a cure. It's just Jerry is no longer doing what he did, and nobody picked it up like Ryan Seacrest picked up, the New Year's Eve from Dick Clark. Will continue, right? But Jerry's will not. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to do one for addiction and recovery, all about hope for that 24 hours. So we only talk about the positive. We know there's death. We know there's dying. We know there's suicide. We know there's overdoses. We know there's a bunch of people. We know we're in a pandemic. So even though it might get mentioned in small little snippets, it's not the focus, and we try not to mention it. It's going to be all about just hope, messages of hope from people who are in recovery, people who are on the other side of recovery. They're in remission. They're living their life. They're just experiencing it. They're coming out. You know what I mean? I've always been jealous of the gay population for coming out of the closet, being able to come out of the closet and walk proud and says, yes, we're gay. Well, in recovery, people that have had drug or alcohol problems, we're still in the closet a lot of times. We're still told it's okay to be in the closet because that's where the spiritual foundation is. Stay in that closet. Stay anonymous. Well, you know what? F you, man. I'm not going to stay anonymous. I'm not going to stay in the closet. Thank you very much. I realize why it was created. I realize why it had its level of importance then. But times do change. Things do evolve. And now more important than ever, those of us that are in recovery, we need to recover out loud and let people know this is the new lifestyle. This is the freedom. This is okay to walk loud and proud and say, yes, I've had it. So what? What? I've had a hangnail too. I don't belong to a hangnail club for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you just have to come out and do and speak positively about because there's so much damn negative right now, Trinity. I mean, just negative. Every channel
Yes.
we're so focused on the negative because that gets viewers,
Yep.
right? Being a victim gives you power. Being a victim creates news cycles. Well, so does negativity. Negativity creates power. Negativity creates news cycles. And all the positivity, like it's dorky, like you mentioned. We've said it many times. When any bar and I get to start, oh, my wife, Dana, blah, blah, and I get to start bitching about my
Sure.
wife, and I guarantee you,
Sure.
I can have that whole bar raving, right?
Yep.
I'll be getting free drinks and everything. But if I go into that same bar and I say, you know what, I just love my wife. We actually cuddled for a full hour. We didn't even speak, just cuddled. Who wants to pray with me? Would anyone like to pray with me? I would get kicked out of that bar, Trinity.
Yeah, probably.
So, well, at least any kind of real bar. Now, maybe not a bar where they play Connect Four instead of drink or whatever. I'm just talking that it's just so easy to spread negativity, but it's much harder to spread messages of hope, and that's what we're going to do on November 14th is just spread messages of hope. And so you'll be there, I'll be there, many of our friends will be there. I just talked to Daryl Strawberry yesterday when I can't. I was just asking about the Dodgers because because he used to play with the Dodgers,
Yeah.
but he didn't win a World Series with the Dodgers. He goes, I don't even really watch baseball anymore. I was like, wow, we watch more football. He's a Cowboys fan. I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh,
He's a
well,
Cowboys fan like my family.
he's not feeling good right now.
No, so we talk more football than baseball, but that's just the way it is, right? And oh, by the way, the reason we're talking is because he wrote the foreword for the book that you and I are in. You and I
Oh, really?
wrote a chapter in that
I didn't
book.
know that.
So we'll be talking a little bit more of that on November 14th.
Because it comes out in November too,
stay
doesn't
tuned.
it?
Stay tuned. It comes out Thanksgiving, I think. So stay tuned. November 14th on the Hopeathon. Trinity and I and our good friend Jack Levine will be talking about the book that's coming out, and you'll probably want to get it.
Right on.
So it's really cool. So we talked a little bit about that and stuff. But I mean, that's the distractions we have, right? I'm so glad sports are back. Yeah. I can't even.
Yeah.
I got sick and tired of watching sports from the 80s. But that was fun too. It had its moments. It had its time. I can't wait till we do a show like what were the positives of COVID. We're gonna have to do a show like just based on that because there were some positive things that I took from it.
I think so.
And one that's really cool. I mean, I should show you. I should show you something. Yeah, I think I'll show you.
All right.
What does it say? You should put this little exchange between you guys. All right, just snip it up, Trinity.
Yeah, right.
You snip it and make it a commercial.
Yeah,
awesome. I'm gonna show you. You speak real quick. Can I go get it?
Sure.
Go for it. Tell me something.
No, go ahead. Dude, this is our show. We can do whatever we want. Go for it. So now I get to talk really bad about him. See, what happened no. Distractions are great, man. Go ahead, if you're listening to this, go ahead and write down your number one distraction in the comments there. Like, what is it that your distraction from the mundane drone of life or the stuff that gets you aggravated or whatever, what is your particular go-to for distraction? So go ahead and write that in the comments, and we'll address it, man. I told everybody to write down or put in the comments what their favorite distractions are. Like, what do they use to distract themselves?
Did you hear me shuffling?
No.
When I walked away? All right, no. So before I show you what I went and got, I realized, have you ever had an older lady in your life that shuffles like with slippers?
I don't think so.
All right, so like my old secretary was a little older, and she used to put slippers on it while she's in the office, and I would hear the the slippers, right? And then so now, when I hear my mother-in-law, when I go to my mother-in-law's house and I hear her walking around, I hear right? So I got slippers for my oldest daughter, and I don't like being barefoot. I just don't. It's a thing. My dad has it. He passed it on to me. I don't like being barefoot, so I was always in like flip-flops outside. Inside. But then I got real confused between my indoor flip-flops and my outdoor flip-flops, and get so damn confused. The problems, right?
I don't know how you do it, man.
I don't know how I do it either. So then
nobody knows.
My oldest daughter and her fiance got me these. See these?
Papa Bear. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I was shuffling right now. So when I hear myself when I'm walking, I hear shh, shh, shh.
Nice.
And then, all right. So then my youngest daughter, you know what we did during COVID, right? Our whole thing, one of our distractions
cooking,
was
right?
Cooking. Yeah. We're going to learn how to cook together, because neither her nor I knew how to cook. And my oldest daughter, since she's moved out and gotten with her fiance, they cook all the time. She cooks all the time. She likes it. She enjoys it. But I don't have any of those skills. I have a horrible palate. I don't know what goes with that. Here's what I would put on everything, Trinity.
Tabasco sauce?
Yeah, I would just burn everything black. As long as it's charred and black and Tabasco sauce or on the grill, that's all I knew.
Is that your Mexican side coming out and just making it hot?
Yes. And what you need, as long as you have the condiments of, look, as long as you have mayonnaise in your fridge, mustard in your fridge, ketchup, jalapenos, you're good. That's all you need.
Just sit down with a jar of mayonnaise and jalapenos.
So, yeah, exactly. That's good stuff. So anyway, my youngest daughter that we've been cooking, doing it, and then she got me this. Can you see it?
Yeah, with Louie and Zoe's cooking. I love you. Oh, isn't that special?
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
Special. Is that engraved in there?
Yeah, she got
it engraved. How do you keep the?
Well, I'm not going to use this one.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna use this because I bought myself a new bamboo one
What
too.
was that?
And that was, you know, you're cooking a lot when all your birthday presents, by the way,
Or cooking related?
dude. I don't know what I don't know what happened to me, Trinity. I got knives. I got these slippers. I got
You're
I got
old, man.
pans. I got cooking stuff.
You're gonna get
I
some
was like,
suspenders next year.
I don't know, man. As long as nobody buys me any damn liquid laundry detergent, I'm good. And then, oh, me
Get
and
you some
Dana
of those
must be
Tide Pods.
well.
Just don't eat it.
Me and Dana must be flipping roles because I bought her the pressure washer, and I got the cooking stuff. What happened, dude? What
It's
happened?
because you got a PlayStation 4. That's why, man.
No, I
You're
did it.
less of a man now.
All right, so I was doing the pressure washing before, right? But then, so one day she says, I want to pressure wash, I want to pressure wash, I want to try it, I want to try it. So she tried it, right? And she saw it, and I showed her how to do it. I go, and she saw how, I mean, you could literally, it's dark, and then all of a sudden, it's
Yeah.
white. Dude, I don't know what that did inside of her, but she was like, oh my God. She goes, there was nothing more rewarding. So now she's just pressure washing everything. So I just said, well, just pressure wash the cars because you can wash them with that. And just go at it, girl. I'll buy you a brand new pressure washer.
You know the best advertisement I've seen for a pressure washing company? There's a fast food place down the street that I would go to for the kid, Wendy's. I would give them Frosties like after school and stuff.
Yeah.
And right next to the Wendy's is this long wall that is for like a housing complex, right? This massive wall, and it's just disgustingly dirty. It's never been cleaned. They pressure washed their phone number into the wall
Oh,
for
that's
pressure
funny.
washing.
That's
And
funny.
it's the stark contrast between the number where they cleaned it and the dirtiness of the wall. It's like the best free advertisement I've ever seen for pressure washing.
That's funny.
Like if that doesn't make you believe in pressure washing, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Marissa says social media is a distraction for her.
Yeah.
And I think for some people it is. I think some people just like to kind of peruse at other people's, ongoings, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're the type of person that gets stressed out by it, then I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend
Yeah.
it. But if you're the type
Yeah.
of person that just gets enjoyment of just scrolling through and seeing what's on people's minds, it's a form of voyeurism. So I absolutely understand it.
And I love voyeurism.
Of
And
course. I
and,
mean, that's why I
and
like some reality shows, man. They're fun,
yeah. And Marissa, I don't want to see the day where you're not on here on social media. That would suck.
right?
And it's like part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. And I saw that her mom shuffles around in slippers. Yeah, anybody that has anybody in their life that shuffles around in slippers, there's a noise.
Yeah.
Trinity, I'm
I've never
surprised you
heard
don't
the
know what I'm
noise.
talking. Okay, it's shh 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 shh.
Yeah.
shh. Well, that's the way I'm walking around. I'm literally, you know how hard it is, Trinity, to lift your leg up when you have slippers on. For some
That
reason,
noise actually irritates me though. There was somebody in
it's
my life
irritating.
before
Oh no, it's
that
very
would
irritating.
drag their feet, and
Oh,
I hate that noise. It's like to me, it's like, dude, pick up your feet. Seriously.
dude, dude, it's annoying to me, Trinity. It's annoying to me, and I'm the one doing it now. And so I'm actively like
I can see you with your little
I'm not walking.
walker with some
I'm
tennis
not
balls
walking.
on the
I'm
bottom
marching.
of it. Just
No, Trinity, I'm not walking anymore. I'm marching. I'm literally I'm picking up my feet, Trinity. So I'm lay up,
layup, right,
right, lay up,
layup.
lay up.
That's
That's
funny.
how I'm walking around my house, Trinity. Just not to be,
That's
you
funny.
know what I mean? Because if not, I'll be doing like Bill Murray style, which is shuffling like in stripes
That's
instead of
funny.
like marching.
I asked them what their favorite distractions were.
Okay.
So I'll say what mine is. My favorite distractions, my go to, is either going to be some form of watched entertainment, be it movies or TV shows. And yeah, I like to jump on and play some PlayStation whenever I have downtime.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite
Yeah.
ones. Matter of fact, as far as TV is concerned, you actually got me into a show that I really, really like. Matter of fact, I think I've watched more of it now than you have, and you got me into it.
I think you have. I think I didn't even.
Um,
I don't think I saw the last season.
yeah, Alone.
No.
I really, really liked Alone. For those of you who don't know, it's a show on History Channel where contestants go out and basically they have all the amenities that they can think of as far as they're not limited, like naked and afraid, for instance.
Right.
They have like 10 items I think they can bring. They can bring bows and arrows. They can bring sleeping bags, things of that nature. And the thing is, who can outlast? Who can go out there and stay in the middle of the woods and there's different areas throughout the world, but
Yeah.
and you're completely isolated. You do all the filming yourself. You do everything, and you got to be self-sustained out there for whoever can last the longest. And God, I don't know. I did not think I would like that show so
That's
much.
crazy,
But the
right?
reason why I like it is from a spiritual perspective. I like to see what humans do when they're alone. You know what I mean? Like when they're left to just be
Oh,
completely
I
isolated.
want to see what humans do when they're
I don't
alone.
mean in your bedroom when you know that you got like an hour. I'm talking
Yeah.
about when you're completely isolated. You're out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's coming. You are
Right.
all completely
Yeah.
100% alone. I think that's an interesting. I think spiritual growth happens there. I really do because you're forced to listen to yourself, and there's no negative distractions. Right? That's an example of bad distractions when you have these
Yeah.
things that keep you from growing internally. And that's why I've actually been able to pick all the winners. And my wife hates it, dude.
That's
my
good.
my wife
That's
is the
really
kiss of
good.
death, right? Whenever every show, every season, except for like the think the last one, because the last one was different. It wasn't the same format they normally do, but every season, right before the season begins, my wife and I we just pick who we think is going to win, right? And I listen to certain kind of. I listen for a vibe, right? Like I feel like I'm pretty well versed on human psyche, and so I could try to listen to what I think are strengths and weaknesses, and I make my selection. My wife is the kiss of death. Every single time she's picked anybody, they're the first one to go out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Even when she's picked that person and then they've gone out, and then she's well, okay, this is my person. They're the very next one to go out. It's literally the kiss of death. If my wife roots for you, you're done. And then I've gotten every single season that we picked. I've gotten every single season correct. And for me, it's usually because I try to look for the people who have the most to gain, and the ones who are most together spiritually, based upon the dialogue that they have when they're being interviewed. I try to just feel who I think is the most spiritually okay. Only because if you're not spiritually grounded, it's going to be very difficult to sit there and be away from your loved ones and be with just yourself for so
Right.
long.
Right.
If you're not spiritually grounded, you're going to find out very quickly, because it's going to be hard, you know. And I think I would do well. I think I would have done well when I was younger, just because I was so angry. I would have been
Right.
stubborn to just I want to stick it through it. But where I'm at now, I think I would do well, just because I think spiritually my mind would be on those things as opposed to regret. But I love that show. That's an awesome show, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you turned me on to it.
It's a really good show.
But yeah, I would say for me, those are my go tos, man. I love binge watching like some really good
Uh,
shows, like because to me, and you and I are similar, I believe in this. We've talked about it before. It drives my household nuts. But I like to actually like. Okay, see, we're gonna get serious here for a minute
oh.
now.
Oh.
I try to respect the storyteller. The person's trying to tell me a story. They're trying to set up stuff. They've gone through the hard work and the dedication of creating an environment, creating dialogue with all the subtleties. The actors are putting their expressions and their effort into it to show a story.
Even
I
the
want
music.
I want
The
to
music, the
everything,
shading, the lighting,
everything.
everything.
So I want to hear that story. I want them to take me on a journey. I don't want it just to be background noise. I want to go on a journey. I want to lose myself in whatever it is that I'm watching, and I want to feel like I'm there and they're talking to me, and I'm living this journey with them. And that's how I get so much appreciation and enjoyment out of it, because it
Yeah.
really does take me through a journey of highs and lows and confusion and drama and whatever. So, which all sounds fun and games until you get a house full of people who like to talk. So whenever they start to talk, I have this thing now where I just pause it, and then everybody thinks I get mad. It's like it's not that I'm mad. It's just I can't, because what happens is if I'm watching something, and then anybody says anything, my brain is like, what they say? What are they talking about? Uh-oh, and I completely forget what I was watching. And so I even have subtitles on, right? Like I've gotten people all my house used to subtitles now because I have subtitles. And it sounds stupid, but I don't want to miss a word. Like if somebody says "and" instead of "they," I want to know. Like
Yeah.
you put it in there
I'm
for a
s-
reason. Like you could have written, you had the entire language to deal with. You chose those words specifically. Why? Sometimes it's foreshadowing, sometimes it's nuance. So I don't know why,
yeah.
but I want to hear every single word. And so yes, whenever somebody talks or something happens, I'll pause it and I'll just sit there patiently. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, he's mad." It's like I'm not mad. It's just I want to watch. Like and I can't. I'll miss out on something. And my wife, for whatever reason, I think she's insane. She can have it on and not care. She'll be on her phone the entire time and look up every few minutes to see something. And sometimes she'll be like, "What did I miss?" And I'll be like, "Well, if you were watching, you wouldn't have missed it." But
Yep.
but she's okay with missing it. She's okay with not getting the whole experience. Whereas me, it's a complete waste of time if I'm not getting the whole experience. Like I don't even want to do it.
Yeah, my wife can go to the bathroom and not have to rewind it.
Yeah,
I
that's great.
I can't even turn away from it without having. And then if I can't just pause it. I need to rewind just a little bit so I can
Yeah.
get back into the same
Yes,
vibe,
I gotta get the
feeling
same
that I was
mindset.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
can't
got to
pick up
get back.
mid sentence
Yeah,
because I'm like, what were they just
yeah.
talking about?
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. You know what? You can't watch movies with Dana, and I can't watch movies with Angel.
I shit
Uh,
you not, dude. Angel's gotten up midway through a show, just gone, and I'm like watching, and we're watching it together,
yes.
and then she'll come back like 20
Yeah.
minutes later. She's, oh, I
Yeah.
just took a shower real quick. I'm like, what? You
Yeah.
just what?
Dana does that too. But then I have to rewind it for her because I want her to feel what I'm feeling.
And they don't care,
And
and they
she's like, I
don't
don't care.
care.
Don't rewind it. I'm like, but you have to. You don't know what happened.
Yeah, and they
And
don't
then you're going to
care.
ask me, and there's no way I can explain it the
No,
way it just happened. I
no.
suck at re-explaining shit. Trini, I feel your pain, man.
Yeah,
See, I
it's
told you.
brutal.
See, I can go to a bar and we can just talk about wife problems, and we
That's
can all
right.
be like, yeah.
That's
See, I
right,
told you
man.
we could.
But those,
I'm having
that's
a
my
hard.
distraction, man. And if I'm, and that's the cool part about the video game part, right? Like if my wife is doing something and she can't sit down and actually pay attention, or she wants to talk or do different things,
Yeah,
then I can just pop on a video game because I don't need to hear for that. Like it's usually
yeah,
just whatever I'm physically doing, and like once again, unless we're talking.
yeah.
So it's like the best of both worlds. We found something that works. She'll go off and do her thing, and I'll just play mine and zone out. And then when she's done doing her thing, she'll say, "Okay, I'm ready to watch something." Okay, and then I'll turn it off, and we'll watch whatever we're gonna watch.
You know what's weird is when I leave the house and she's home, and I leave her home alone. She's like, "Where are you going? What time are you coming back?" And she's like on me about coming back the whole time. When she leaves the house and I'm left alone, I'm like,
Bye.
enjoy.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with liking the person any less. It's just like there's a sense of like calm that the whole
Yes.
house has, the peace. It's like I can watch anything. Now nobody's gonna question what I'm watching. I don't have to hear, oh, it's always sports on the TV. You know what I mean? Like
well,
since football season started, she's like, is there like football every day? I'm like,
that now there is with
no,
COVID.
no, but I go no, but it's like when it is on though, like Sundays. I mean, like, please just don't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just don't exist on Sundays. Just think I'm like a priest, and if I was a priest or a pastor, I'd be gone all Sunday. I'd
Yep.
be like doing my thing, right?
Yep.
That's Sunday. Sundays are very precious.
Yeah, we've had to balance here because I used to get in trouble because, as you well know, Saturday pretty much all day, especially if there's good games like
College
ranked.
football,
It's all
yeah.
college. It's literally from 12
Oh, that
noon until like 10 o'clock at night, and
yes.
oftentimes there's really good like ranked games, and then Sunday from 1 until like 11 o'clock at night is all football because you have
Oh,
the
football.
early games, the late games, and the night game, and then
Yeah.
Monday you got Monday night
And Monday
football.
night football, and they're playing two.
So then
Oh
all
my!
you got
And then
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
Wednesday are free, and then you got Thursday night football they've started. So literally the only days without football traditionally are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then Friday, if you like high school football, that's when they play.
I used to go to all my girls. Neither one of my daughters played football.
But you
Yet
went
I
to all the
went to
games.
every high school football game at both of my daughters' school the whole time they were in high school.
Right. Well, speaking of distractions, my kids' favorite distractions. Well, Trinity, my youngest one, his distraction is Fortnite. That dude is like in Fortnite is life for him.
Still,
Yeah, man. I don't. That's he's got a
that game's got
PlayStation.
staying power, man.
In every game that I've got, he's got access to. The only game he consistently plays is Fortnite. Destiny has a PlayStation right here in the room. It's been on like 3 times. It's like she never touches it. Her distraction is this game called Roblox. I hate that game with a passion. It's a stupid like 8-bit graphic kind of thing. I don't understand the appeal to it other than her friends are on it.
Like Minecraft. It was like
It's
Minecraft.
kind of like Minecraft. So that's her distraction. My 16-year-old now, her distraction is YouTube. YouTube and makeup. Like she'll just randomly just sit in a room and do a bunch of makeup and then wash it all off. Like I don't understand it, but or she'll be on YouTube. She's getting into cooking lately. My wife's distractions are definitely arts and crafts, like or her phone shopping. But arts and crafts are her like physical thing. That's
Yeah.
in this household. That's everybody's kind of distractions. Rocky gets distracted by anything that moves. So
No,
that's
my Zoe, hers is definitely like TikTok and what do you call it? Amazon shopping, like looking at
right.
different outfits and things that she could buy and different ideas for the birthday that's coming up 5 years from now. You
Wow.
know, that stuff. And then my wife has learned to Google
Wow.
danger. Danger.
Okay.
She's Googling, and so she'll go from one thing to another. But she's also looking at that. She'll get on a project and she'll start realizing, wow, I could buy this and it can arrive tomorrow. And it's like, oh man,
Wait,
I
didn't
know
I
the day
find
Dana
out?
never even looked at the phone. There was a time where Dana really even didn't need a cell phone. She goes, I
Yeah.
don't care if I have a cell phone or not.
She's not even on social media, right?
No,
Yeah, it's crazy.
she was never into the phone.
Did I hear? I think you did the same thing. Speaking about shopping stuff, I never heard about this until I got married with my wife. Do you guys have a gift closet or like a gift box?
Dana does
Yeah,
apparently.
that's the craziest
Dana
shit
apparently
ever.
has Dana apparently has things stashed somewhere. So if you visit my house, she can't let you leave without giving you something. So she goes to this closet that
Yeah,
exists or this area that exists, and she'll come out with things with brand new
yeah,
tags on it that she's been holding on for
yeah.
but she didn't know it was you.
My wife will find something like, oh, that would make a good gift, and just buy it. And then, like, 2 years, 3 years later, it's somebody's birthday. But, oh, I got that in the gift closet. I'm like, I never even heard of that in my entire life. So, apparently,
Yeah, it reminds me of the radio station. We used to try to raid the awards, closet. There was always
well, we do
the
that in
short.
Orange County now, right?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
get our pens and headphones and stuff. That's actually where I got my headphones that I took on the flight because I didn't have any that had the normal
Yeah,
plug.
there you go. There you go.
But yeah, so I mean, these are all examples of good distractions, man. I
Good
mean,
distractions, man.
just distractions that kind of make the day go by.
Yeah.
No need to do any major wrap ups, I don't think today. So, what's your last couple words before we end the show itself? Oh, hey, Dr. Rob
Hey,
Kelly.
what's up, Dr. Kelly? How you doing,
Dr.
brother?
Rob Kelly, what's your favorite distraction, man? We're talking about positive, good distractions. We're getting ready to sign off right now. What is your good distraction? Because I see you do a lot of fun stuff. I see you posting a lot with family. We got a really kick-ass thing of you playing guitar. You seem like
Yeah.
a jack of all trades. What is your go-to fun distraction to just kind of zone out and do basically nothing? And while we're waiting on him to comment, you got any final things you want to say about distractions before
Yeah.
we?
First of all, I didn't know that Marissa loved to cook. Marissa, we do that every plate. I do that every plate thing with Zoe. If you ever want that, let me know. They like to send me like little coupon things, like $40 off or whatever, something like that. We'll send it to you, and you can have it if that's what you like. Let me know. Um, anyway, like Dr. Rob, you
You
guys, I
guys,
promise.
I don't believe that for a second.
Anybody
Hey
that
man,
says I
I'll
promise.
take it, but I don't believe it.
But you know, in closing with distractions, I just like to say, everybody has hobbies. You can call them hobbies. You can call it habits. You can call them distractions. You can call them time killers. Uh, I like to call them precious moments.
Yeah.
They're like little precious moments. They're just mine. They're all mine, and I can do whatever I want with them. And so, what I would encourage you to do is find things that just don't come back and hurt you, because if it's something that can come back and hurt you, then it's not really an effective distraction. An effective distraction is simply what it is. You go to it or do it, and then when you walk away from it or don't do it, it's just where it is, and it's right where you left it. When you want to go back and get it, then there it is. Um, I love it. It gives me little pauses in the day. I love my little pauses within the day. I have a very busy mind. So once I got older and I started napping, that was a beautiful little pause. Once Dana and I found the right house that like worked to the way our lifestyle is, that was a nice little thing. But even doing this with you, actually, this is our work. But to me, this is like a distraction. There are other duties that you and I both have to other people outside of our business like this, and then we have to do it. So I love when we do our shows because we make our work look fun.
Yeah.
And so what I would say in closing to that distraction though is that your family doesn't tend to understand it. Like my wife will look at what I do and she'll be like, she wants me to do what she wants me to do within that time period. And what I need to learn how to do this, Trinity. We should have talked about that. How do we communicate that I'm effectively distracting right now, and that it's okay. Because that's the tip I need. Maybe if somebody can figure that out. Dr. Rob Kelly says writing songs for friends. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
I need the secret to how to communicate that I'm currently distracting and it's okay. That's what I need. You got that one?
No, I don't, because if you can figure that one out, help me tell my wife that one too. I need to sign up for that class. Dr. Rob Kelly wrote writing songs for friends. That's actually a pretty cool distraction. And for those of you who don't know, he plays guitar, and we're gonna have that on the Hope-a-thon. He's playing the anthem, quite epically, I might add. And we might have a special request from him. I don't know. I'm not going to break the news because I don't know if you've brought it up to him or not. But we might have a special use for that little clip of him playing the Star Spangled Banner as well, which we'll leave to another day. But now everybody's on pins and needles waiting, right?
I did not tell him.
Good. Okay. Well, I didn't tell him either, as you can tell. Having said that, that is a cool distraction just for everybody. I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar. I've just never taken the time out to do it. And if I'm honest, I probably never will. But it is something I envy people who know how to sit down and play guitar. I think that's just one of the coolest things ever. Marissa she says, justify your distractions by saying you did X, Y, and Z and you're rewarding yourself with downtime or something you're passionate about. Perfect way to not let it be excessive. I would agree with that. I've had that conversation before.
That sounds very. Thank you, Marissa.
And that's a good thing for your distractions to do, right? If you do have a list of responsibilities in which you've already attended to, and you legitimately have downtime, then it's okay to take it, and it's okay to tell people, "Hey, I've already done these things that I'm supposed to be doing. This is me time now," because it is important to have me time. And I think that'll be my final word on distractions, man. It's me time. It's we spend so much of our time dedicated to friends and family members and jobs and politics and just the ongoings of the world. So many times doing or thinking for others. That's all distraction time really is. It's just me time. It's time for you to sit down and just be with yourself and something you enjoy doing. Recharge your battery, so to speak. And that's all I got to say about distractions, man. It's a good thing. I think we should all have them, and I think they're healthy as long as you treat them in a healthy manner. So, anyways, we may or may not stick around for a few minutes, but for now, that's all we got. So now that you know better, do better. Peace. Are you still here? What are you doing? I told you, go do better.